proxies for development, and I will be presenting today my research for my master's degree pertaining to cardiovascular function as a potential proxy for feed efficiency in deep cattle. So to kind of introduce this topic, I think we must first recognize the negative reputation surrounding meat production, and this largely is a consequence of the poor feed conversion ratio. However, optimizing feed efficiency has the potential to address some of these issues, including increasing the profitability of production, as well as improving environmental standards as far as land resource use, and potentially addressing concerns of food security. The measure for feed efficiency we are interested in is residual feed intake, and this is the difference between actual feed intake and predicted feed intake based on measures of body weight, gain, and body composition, such that our higher RFI animals have a feed intake that is greater than what would be predicted, and our lower RFI animals have a feed intake that is less than what would be predicted. However, the issue with this is the cost, labor, and time for determination. Therefore, we are interested in exploring potential biomarkers that we could use as proxies for feed efficiency. One potential biomarker of interest is heart function, and this is because it has been related to various industry traits, including health, reproduction, activity, and welfare. However, a recent review looking at precision technologies showed that heart function actually ranked 18 out of 20 for usefulness out of precision technologies, and this likely is a result of benefit to cost ratio. However, I think there is tremendous potential in this because the general public often recognizes heart rate, and you see people walking around with Fitbits now, right? So we're curious as to how heart function could be related to RFI, and this is relevant in the fact that, for instance, a 10% improvement in feed efficiency could increase profitability upwards of 43%. So our research group has actually begun to explore this and publishing a paper in 2017 titled Associations of Acute Stress and Overnight Heart Rate with Feed Efficiency in Beef Heifers. And so what this study looked at was monitoring heart rate during an overnight assessment, and they saw that the feed efficient cattle had a lower resting heart rate, which we believe is attributed to a lower metabolic rate. However, when the cattle were exposed to a novel acute stressor, which was the opening and closing of an umbrella in front of their snout, they actually had a greater maximum heart rate response. And this may be due to a certain kind of coping style in reflection of the stressful stimuli. So in the present study, we are curious on how this could be applied in routine handling, such as the bull breeding soundness evaluation. And this evaluation encompasses a variety of procedures, including blood ultrasound, blood collection, testes ultrasound, scrotal circumference, rectal palpation, and electro-ejaculation. And this is beneficial as this is already a routine handling procedure done in many countries where they look at the fertility potential of bulls. So it's already a selection tool, and it encompasses a variety of stressors, so we can use this as an opportunity to look at the association of heart rate and feed efficiency. Therefore, it is hypothesized that the bull breeding soundness evaluation involves a variety of stimuli which influence heart function, and it therefore may serve as a source of proxies towards complex traits, including feed efficiency. So our first objective was to assess the relationships of heart function with feed efficiency, recording during the bull breeding soundness evaluation, and also to determine the potential heart traits of relevance for proxy development towards feed efficiency. To do this, we used a collection of 107 young beef bulls that had an average age of 14 months and weighed on average 511 kilograms. They also, our breeds were predominantly Simmental, Angus, and Charolais, and the bulls were housed in a beef testing station, given ad-lib access to feed silage or grass silage. During this time, the animals were subject to a productive performance evaluation. They were allotted a 14-day adaptation period and then a 112-day evaluation, during which time growth was monitored by individual feed intake data recording. Body weight was surveyed through body size through weight, and we also looked at body composition as a matter of ultrasounding. where back fat, marbling, and rump fat recognized the fatness, and ribeye area was a recognition of the leanness of the animals. And we use this model to be able to calculate for RFI as have a respectable R-squared value of 0.6. For the actual experimental procedure, each of these bulls were put through the bull breeding soundness evaluation, and heart rate was monitored using an external electrode placed around the girth of the animal. And so this is an example of the typical heart rate curve that we got from the procedure, and you can see how I've labeled the procedures along the actual graph. And for instance, we could note as an example the major perturbation happening during electro-ejaculation. For this section, we've calculated the mean, standard deviation, the highest 20% and lowest 20% average of the heart rate. And these parameters were calculated for each individual procedure. Also, we are curious in looking at the 20 seconds after electro-ejaculation, calculating the mean and standard deviation. As far as statistical analysis, we are first interested in categorizing these animals as efficient and inefficient. And we ensure normality of the data and applied transformations when necessary, and then looked at the least square means. And this was a tool to decipher what traits of the heart rate were of relevance. And then we further analyzed the data continuously, doing a Pearson's correlation and a partial R-squared summed across all linear and quadratic effects to try and build an appropriate model for proxy development. So in my results and discussion, this graph is simply to illustrate that there was a variety of heart rate traits to be looked at, and you can see I've categorized them on the graph. Mean, standard deviation, highest 20% average, and lowest 20% average. So this graph is just showing that we did have some variation in our heart rates across the procedures. However, I think we can clearly note here that as far as all the parameters, we have a higher electro-ejaculation heart rate. And also, you can see that the inefficient cattle actually had a higher heart rate response to this electro-ejaculation. However, for all the other procedures, they had a lower heart rate response. To take a bit of a closer look at this, we can see potentially a differentiation in the non-invasive procedure, which would include the body ultrasound, the testes ultrasound, and scrotal circumference, compared to more invasive procedures. So that would include the blood collection, electro-ejaculation, and rectal palpation. And just to take a closer look at that, we see here a significant difference in the efficient and inefficient animals for rectal palpation, as well as for the electro-ejaculation traits. So right here and for the rectal palpation here. We also see that we have a trend in the data for body ultrasound and for testes ultrasound. So again, we're seeing this potential differentiation in the non-invasive and the invasive traits. And this helps to direct our continuous analysis to see what are the traits of relevance when we're trying to predict RFI. So now to look at the relationship of heart rate with RFI, just looking at correlations, we see that RFI was in fact correlated with electro-ejaculation. The time, 20 seconds after electro-ejaculation, blood collection, and body ultrasound. There was also intercorrelations between these traits. However, electro-ejaculation was also only correlated with the rectal palpation. So it's interesting to note, again, that during the more stressful procedures, we're seeing that they're more highly linked with electro-ejaculation, and this helps to pinpoint potential models. Bringing us to the variation RFI, we first considered a non-invasive model, which included the testes ultrasound, body ultrasound, and scrotal circumference, which you can see here, and plotted observed versus predicted values for these. And we see that it was able to explain 45% of the variation in RFI. And you can also note that a larger percentage of this was devoted to scrotal circumference. And we think that this may be a factor of that this animal, or this part of the bull, would be less interacted with during routine handling, and this scrotal circumference measure happened before testes ultrasound. In comparison, we have the invasive model, which included the electro-ejaculation, blood collection, and rectal palpation. And this model was actually able to explain a greater percentage of the variation in RFI at 56%. And also we see that there is more cohesiveness amongst the contribution of each trait to this model. And this may be a reflection of the mechanisms incorporated into the heart rate response during stress. So to take a closer look at this, in this study we were interested in heart rate as a proxy for feed efficiency, and we saw that how invasive the procedure was seemed to influence the strength of the relationship between heart rate and feed efficiency. So this raises the question, how do these animals handle stress? And to take a closer look at this, these are actually videos of two bulls within my trial. So you can see the bottom bull there is having a very different reaction to the bull on top. And so with this, we kind of see a behavioral change that could be also linked to the physiology we're seeing. And this really comes down to the concept of coping style. How are these animals coping with their environment? And a recent review published by Ross suggested that feed-efficient cattle have a more reactive coping style. And in fact, domestication and selection for feed efficiency seems to increase the relevance of a reactive coping style. And I think this it correlates nicely to the findings of this study, where we see that how invasive the procedures applied influence the relationship we see between heart function and RFI. So for the ongoing research of this, we're hoping to unpack the breeding soundness evaluation a little further, in that we've only so far looked at the associations between heart rate and feed efficiency. However, because of the bull breeding soundness evaluation, we also have data on health and fertility-related traits, where we're hoping to potentially explore, is there any relationships we can derive from this as well? So in conclusion, heart rate serves as a proxy for feed efficiency during the bull breeding soundness evaluation, and proxy development should focus on more invasive procedures such as rectal palpation. Screening for feed efficiency relies on challenging coping abilities, and this is because of the reflection on the intensity of stress and the relationships we saw between heart rate and feed efficiency. And finally, industry application is possible, but of course with further refinements on this. Finally, I just want to acknowledge those who supported this study, and thank you for your attention.